All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into a jungle. But this isn't just any jungle. It's a place where the laws of time completely break down. And trust me, just getting lost, that's the least of your worries. So, picture this. Three complete strangers find themselves lost in the jungle. Standard survival story, right? But what if the jungle itself is lost in time? Yeah, we're digging into this wild scenario where these three people are trapped in a place that just completely defies physics. It starts out looking like one thing, but it spirals into something so much stranger. Okay, so let's meet our trio, Samantha, Tom, and Jody. Each one of them, totally separate from the others, ends up in this rundown cabin deep in the jungle. They all think the same thing. I'm lost. I need to find my way out. But the place they found themselves in, it is anything but ordinary.
Yeah, this is no ordinary forest. This place has its own set of twisted rules. I mean, can you imagine? There's a lake that's there one day and just gone the next. You try to walk out, you walk for miles, and somehow every single path just loops you right back to where you began. And on top of all that, you've got this constant feeling of being watched, and all three of them are having the same disturbing nightmares. This sense of dread, of being trapped, it's just getting started. So at first, they're focused on the basics, right? Food, water, shelter. But pretty quickly, those survival worries get pushed aside by a mystery that is way, way bigger and a whole lot scarier. They start to realize this jungle isn't just a place, it's a puzzle. And they're the pieces, whether they like it or not. All right, this is where things start to get really weird. They finally sit down and start comparing notes, trying to figure out what's going on. And as they talk, their entire understanding of reality just completely unravels. This leads to the first massive, mind-bending revelation. So they're trying to figure out where they even are. Samantha's like, I think we're in New Hampshire. Jody's sure it's Dakota. And Tom, he was on his way to LA. So they're all in the same exact cabin, but they somehow got here from totally different corners of the country. But believe it or not, that's not even the craziest part. Okay, get ready for this. Someone asks the simple question, what year is it? And the whole thing just blows up. Samantha, totally serious, says, it's 1964. Jody kind of laughs at her like, what are you talking about? It's 1984. And then there's Tom just looking at both of them like they've lost their minds because for him, it's 2011. So boom, that discovery just shatters everything. They're not just lost in space, they're lost in time. They're all existing in the same physical spot at the same moment, but they're from three completely different decades. How is that even possible? And it brings up this huge, impossible question. Is this just some random cosmic glitch, or were they brought here for a reason? And just when you think it can't possibly get any weirder, it does. A new person shows up, a German soldier from World War II. And somehow, this guy holds the key that connects every single one of them. This soldier, Huntsman, immediately adds a whole new layer of danger to their nightmare. He's a real physical threat. But you know what? It's not his gun that's going to blow this whole mystery wide open. It's a small piece of jewelry he wears around his neck. So he spots this locket on Jody and just furiously grabs it from her. Then he pulls out his own, and it's exactly the same. They open them up, and inside both lockets is a picture of the same woman. And Samantha's world just stops because she recognizes her instantly. It's her mother, which also makes her Jody's grandmother. And there it is, the big connection. They're not strangers at all. They're a family. Huntsman, the soldier, is the patriarch. Samantha is his daughter. Jody is his granddaughter. And Tom, well, Tom is his great-grandson. We're talking about 4 generations of one family, all trapped together in the same moment, completely out of time. This isn't just some crazy family reunion. It's a paradox. They're not just connected by blood, they're bound by this shared tragic destiny. It's like this inherited trauma that's been passed down, and it's so powerful it literally pulled them all together into this impossible place. So once they finally wrap their heads around this impossible connection, they get a new mission, a really desperate one. They start to think, hey, if we're all here together outside of our own timelines, maybe, just maybe, we can change our futures. Maybe we can fix the past. You remember those recurring nightmares they were all having? Well, it turns out they weren't just dreams. They were visions of their own deaths. Every single one of them is on a path to a violent, tragic end. And they realize that all of this pain, This whole chain of tragedy that defines their family, it all starts with one single event. And then it clicks. They're not in some random jungle. They're in Poland during World War II. And the date? It's May 14th, the exact day that Hansman, the patriarch of their family, is fated to die in an airstrike. His death? That's the first domino. They think if they can just stop that one domino from falling, maybe they can save everyone down the line. So the mission becomes clear, even if it's completely insane. They have to save Hansman. If they can prevent his death, they could potentially erase all the trauma and tragedy that follows. This is their one shot to literally rewrite their entire family history. But, fate doesn't like to be changed. Hansman is panicked. He doesn't believe this crazy story they're telling him, and he fights back. In all the chaos, as they're trying to save him, his gun goes off. And their attempt to fix the past leads to an even worse tragedy. He accidentally shoots his own granddaughter, Jody. Okay, so Jody's death, it's not just the end of a life. It's like a bomb going off in the timeline. The consequences are immediate, they're catastrophic, and they are so paradoxical. A whole new reality starts forming right in front of them. Think about it. If his mother dies before she can ever give birth to him, Tom can't exist. It's a paradox that time itself has to correct. So as Jody takes her final breath, Tom just starts to fade away. He's literally erased from existence, right as Samantha is watching in horror. But in all that chaos, Hansman does manage to get himself and a wounded Samantha into a bunker just as the bombs start to fall. He survives. That first domino, the one that was supposed to kick everything off, it never fell. They actually did it. They changed the past. So their crazy plan actually worked, but wow, what a cost. Let's break it down. Because Hansman lived, he was there for his daughter, so Samantha didn't die in childbirth. And because Samantha lived, her daughter, Jody, grew up in a good home, wealthy and educated instead of in an orphanage. But because Jody died back in that jungle, Tom was never born. A better future for some, at the cost of his entire existence. But it doesn't end there. In this brand new, supposedly better timeline, we see something chilling. Jody's old ex-boyfriend, he's planning the exact same robbery that got her killed in the original timeline. Only this time, he's got a new girlfriend with him. And just like before, she gets greedy, she demands the cashier open this mysterious box, and we hear a gunshot. The cycle of violence just found a new victim. And that leaves us with this really chilling final question. They went through all of that, and they did break their family's specific cycle of tragedy. But did they actually change fate? Or did they just prove that some patterns, some cycles of greed and violence are so fundamental that they're just doomed to repeat, no matter who the players are?